Now raise your hand if you're going to be attending the district conference. District conference in April. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be in Memphis. The last time we had a conference, it was, when was the last conference? It was in October. It was awesome. Actually, the world champion of public speaking was there, Ed Tate. He won it like 10 years ago. And he taught us techniques about how to use your head, your heart, humor, hard-hitting message in every speech. You can just grab the audience. It was really awesome. I don't know if we're going to have a world champion speaker in the next conference, but at all these conferences, there's always something there. There's always something to learn. And our next speaker is going to be telling us about how the planning process takes place for these sorts of conferences. Her speech is titled District Conference Planning. Please welcome Denise Tarter.
Tonight I'm talking about my high performance leadership project, which was district planning, district conference planning. Back in 2010, Tarter and I were both working together on the planning committee for the 2010 Spring Toastmaster Conference. It was in Arlington, at the Arlington Hotel in Hot Springs, Arkansas. In late spring 2009, I agreed to be on the planning committee for the spring conference. Needless to say, I didn't know what I volunteered myself for. I soon found out. The theme of the 2010 Spring Conference was Boundless Opportunities with Toastmasters, and it was my idea. So, our first scheduled planning meeting was on Tuesday, June 2nd, 2009, which happened to be my birthday. We began a 9-month trek of planning, preparation, meeting, email communications. This is just a few of the email communications. About 9 months worth. Kind of like birthing a baby, I suppose. 9 months. That's what it took. I must admit that working on this committee was a real eye-opener for me into what is involved in organizing a district conference. I've helped with other conference organizations in the past, but this one, District 43, was the largest that I've ever been involved with. Talk about not knowing what goes on behind the scenes to make it all tie together into a smooth running machine. At our very first meeting, Joyce Moore, I'll pass this around, I don't have to look at all of them, but that's just some of the emails, planning, visiting places, finding out prices, and so forth. At our very first meeting, Joyce Moore, who was our conference coordinator and team leader, broke out all the areas of responsibility. Everybody volunteered for a different area, and we all went to work. We appointed a treasurer, had someone in charge of registration that included making the forms, registration forms, the name tags, printing of the conference programs, the hospitality room. Sandra and I volunteered for the hospitality room. Someone in charge of the speech contest, the silent auction, the bookstore, equipment room for everything, and of course a venue for the conference. At the conference that's coming up in April, we will have the district speech contest. This was one of the things that we were also responsible for scheduling. In July, we jump-started the trip. We jump-started the conference for the trip to Hot Springs. To the Arlington Hotel, we had a business luncheon to decide whether we wanted this as our venue. We toured the hotel, looked at the rooms, checked out the room rates, looked at the meeting rooms, the ballroom where we would be dining for lunch and dinner. Our next step was creating a budget to cover everything. That was conference related. From there, we went on to getting aprons for those who were helping in the conference. So whoever was, whoever was wearing an apron at the conference, you knew that they were the helpers who were helping everyone there, whether you needed to find the restroom or the bookstore or wherever you needed to go, we would point you in that direction or help you. From there, We went out sending silent auction letters. Myself and Adrian Duncan, I'm sure a lot of you know Adrian, tried to get either Governor Mike Beebe or First Lady Ginger Beebe to make a short appearance and a presentation at the conference. But as it turned out, both ended up being out of state during the scheduled conference date, so we were not able to get them. Not only did we communicate through emails, but we had planning meetings on a regular basis here at St. Vincent's, in the cafeteria just down the hall, in the afternoons after work on several occasions, sometimes before our Toastmaster meeting on Monday, sometimes on Tuesday afternoon. We planned for decorations on the tables and the dining rooms. We arranged for the food based on the expected registration, the attendance, goodie bags that were compliments of Hot Springs Chamber of Commerce, goodies from the UA of Fayetteville, from the Secretary of State's office, and other places. We put all those together the night before the conference. We arranged for speakers to present educational modules during the conference, and Joyce Moore was able to get Craig Ballantyne, the 1999 International Speech Contest winner. In the midst of all this extra planning and preparation, Sandra and I were in charge of the hospitality room. So we provided a quiet place of escape for the Toastmasters to seek out between educational modules and speech contest. We arrived on Thursday evening before the conference began, loaded down with our arsenal of food. The guys from the ballet wanted to go with us to our room. We said, you have to come to the hospitality room. Even with all that, we did additional shopping at Sam's in Hot Springs on that evening. And early the next Friday morning, Sandra got up early to make a last-ditch run for some additional items. But a terrible thunderstorm changed her mind on that one, so she didn't make that. We kept the room stocked with all types of donuts and pastries, cookies, candy, chips and dips, bottled water, juice, soft drinks, and ice. We had everything. We had a lot of good comments, a lot of compliments on how we kept everything stored for everyone to come and partake. We also had requests for some other beverages of a bit stronger constitution for those who wish to partake. In the end, everything came together perfectly and timely with a minimal amount of frustration and stress. Everyone worked hard to do their assigned part, and our committee accomplished its goal for a smooth flowing and well-organized committee. What I learned from working on the committee is that teams can work together in a cooperative and respectful manner. The different teams worked well together on their assigned areas of responsibility, and each focused on their goals and accomplished their vision of demonstrating boundless opportunities with Toastmasters.